Welcome to We're Not Afraid of the Dark, the podcast where me, my brother, my girlfriend, well, fiance. That's what the eye cutting was for. Review every episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Here we are, season 5, the tale of the prisoners past.
Yeah, and I found out it's prisoners without the apostrophe. Everyone else online was spelling this wrong. And let me just say, I had a really fucking hard time finding this episode.
Yeah, we
first.
did too. We did too.
We used to watch Daily Motion, and like one version I saw had the video flipped for copyright reasons. Another one I saw had prisoners past listed, and then it goes into the story. Sam throws the dust on it, says the tale of C7. I'm like, what the hell? It's mislabeled. So I ended up buying this on Amazon, just the one episode, and it wasn't even the high def version.
Well, we watched the one that was backwards.
Okay.
I think it was C7 that there were like six different ones for it, and like 5 of them didn't even have audio to it.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, how the fuck are we gonna watch these with and like do reviews for them tomorrow when we don't even know what the fuck they're saying?
Well, once I found the right episode, Gary's arguing with Tucker about something again. I think he got paint on him or something.
No, he was supposed to help him paint.
Okay, yes, because Gary's got paint all over his jacket.
Yeah, and Tucker like
went somewhere else.
Yeah, went somewhere else and like didn't help him. So then he didn't finish until 10 minutes before the Midnight Society meeting.
Yeah, Stig's by the fire bringing out something like a sock, I think it is. And one of the girls says, I hate when I step in water. He says, who said I stepped in water? That was a good line. Also, this campfire scene here looks different than every single other one I've seen. Like the kids are spaced out a lot more. It looks bigger. Did you notice that?
Maybe they got a bigger warehouse.
Yeah, different set design. But yeah, the fire is looking good. Yeah, Gary comes in. Everybody's like, what happened? And Stig just gives that wet thing to wipe himself down with. So I guess it's pissed or something. Tucker's in the storyteller's chair. It says the story is about brothers who don't get along because they're different. And I like Gary's line here. It says it's fiction night, right? Or something like that. But yeah, we've had this same setup before. It's not like it could give us something more special than that because we've had this different personalities matching. And in the story also, they're stepbrothers. Because it says the one kid's mom married the other kid's dad. Why don't they just say stepbrothers?
You know,
especially at this age.
I never even caught that.
I picked up on like the fact that they were stepbrothers, but
yeah, I never caught that.
It does seem weird that they introduced it that way.
Well,
now we see this person walking like this oversized comical keychain with this like foot-long key, and I was immediately thinking, like, what the fuck does this go to? I mean, I've never seen a key that big ever. Have you?
Only this one time.
What did it go to? This episode or?
No, it wasn't at this episode. It was a keyblade.
Okay. Well, this woman has like a 1950s hairstyle, and I kind of did like this when this dominated person's outfit comes out. There's this kid screaming, and it turns out to be a tour guide. She mentions that's how it all happened on October 19, 1922, the Great President Revolt. And we get the voiceover, which is back. Okay, so Ashley just handed me this. She cheated on me, so I keyed her car. It's this big ass key. I'll put this in the video, by the way. So it's there we're going. Yeah, that car's really messed up.
Looks like Wolverine got it.
Yeah. That was another one I saw. Like, who'd you piss off, Wolverine?
Well, we didn't have a voiceover in the episode of Mystical Mirror, but it's back. And Jason and Scott were different. As soon as Jason is on the screen, like we know this actor from Step by Step and Beethoven. It's Christopher Castillo.
I was Castillo. Like, Mark.
Yeah, and he plays the same character.
Well, I mean, honestly, what else are they going to cast that kid as? Sorry, Mark.
Yeah, I know. I looked him up at IMDb because I do remember like he was on Step by Step for like his entire run. I was thinking he was one of the kids.
Yeah, he was Carol's kid.
Yeah, but like he was an iconic figure in 90s kids television, but he didn't have any acting credits after Step by Step ended.
I mean, where do you go from there? You're already at the top.
Well, I saw he one of the updates was teaching like high school economics or something like that.
I believe that.
Well, in the story, they mentioned that Jason, his character, was president of the chess club, small and kind of smart, but kind of a loner. Well, his brother, and they were his stepbrother again, Scott, is a jock, and Scott's like putting his head through one of those things you get your like picture taken with, like those like
Mhm.
torch things. Yeah, he's a
The
jock.
cutout, the
Oh,
cutout
man.
shits.
Yeah, big and tough and popular. They never had anything to do with each other until Jason's mother married Scott's father. Now, I love this guy named Scott. He's played by some guy who's still acting now. You recognize him from anything?
I mean, his face looks familiar, but I could
Mhm.
not tell you like what he's been in.
No, I had to have said he looked familiar at least 4 times last night and just couldn't place it.
Yeah, his name is Dan. I'm gonna mess up this name. Patrick Javek. Patrick Javek. He was in the Suicide Squad unaccredited as Anvil. He's on this thing called 19-2. You guys heard of that?
No.
B Blade. Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of actor credits on here. I don't recognize anything off the top of my head. What about the company? Oh,
Send me over Franklin's.
he voiced Brace face Adam Splits, who that character was. And the guy Christopher Casto again, Ben. Who was the character Eugene on Hey Arnold? What character was that?
Wasn't that the black guy?
I
He
think it
voiced that
was-
character.
The black guy with the high top? Wasn't that Eugene?
Now we gotta look. It's worth a Google.
Yeah, Hey Arnold's left. No, it's that kid.
Oh,
Okay.
Was that nerdy kid as well?
yeah.
Okay.
Most like
Eugene
it.
Hol-
Horowitz. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he voiced that character.
Okay.
Scott's having or Jason's having a hard time making decisions here. He's analyzing these T-shirts. This guy walking the counter is getting a little pissed off at him, but he ends up getting both shirts because Scott comes up behind him. Says, "Make a decision. 2 shirts is $10. That's pretty cheap for a gift store, even in the '90s."
Yeah.
It's true.
And that is an American dollar bill. The show is pretty Americanized at that point.
Yeah.
I like it says, "Listen, jock itch." That was a good insult.
I was impressed that he
Yeah,
had
Jason
the-
stood up.
Had the
the
stones.
testicular fortitude.
Yeah, it says he already took half the room. He's not going to take care of his money. And then Scott's friends come and back him up. Scott goes into a different area of the prison. And by the way, this for being even a former prison, this place had really shitty security.
Oh God, yes. Jesus.
Or yeah, Jason ran there. Scott goes after him, and Scott ends up going like a bunch of cobwebs trying to find Jason.
Yeah. So how did hold on, which one's the big one?
Scott.
Scott.
Yeah,
So how did Jason get past the spider webs
that's a good question.
to scare him on the other
Makes
side?
you shorter. Oh, another thing I picked up on once I was looking into the trivia and the actors. The guy playing Scott's actually younger than the guy playing Jason.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, he looks like at least 2 or 3 years older. So puberty was more kind of one of them than the other.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
He's got like a foot on him.
Yeah, Scott was like 14 when he filmed this.
Yeah.
They end up down by this other jail cell. It says, "Oh, it's another dummy," but it says, "I have a call," or something like that. Never a dummy. He goes by One-Eyed Jack, and they ask if he's an actor. He says, "We made one mistake in life, rob a bank. It's not his time." And Scott's pretty bored with the story, and One-Eyed Jack asks to pull the lever.
Yeah. They let me out. And he's like, oh, well, they still think he's a fucking actor. So they,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
They said it was
I'm
part of the show.
gonna go do it. And then like they do it, and One-Eyed Jack comes out and then like just disappears. like, oh, that was a good trick. Where did and then like he appears behind him and tells him to get in the cell.
I could tell the actor playing that guy was having a lot of fun with this.
Oh
by the way.
yeah. Yeah, he was having a blast.
The
Yeah.
actor that played the prisoner looked familiar to me, but I couldn't place him.
Yeah, he has a few acting credits. Last acted in 2004, but he's in another episode later on in Are You Afraid of the Dark. He was in Friday the 13th, the series. Did you ever watch that, Ashley?
Mm-mm.
I didn't.
They're walking away. At one point, I say, "Oh, that was awesome," but then they run into One-Eyed Jack again and says, "How the hell did you get here?" They run and close the door.
Well, no, he tells him to get in the cell that they just let him out of.
Okay.
And they're like,
Yeah, they get out of there.
they're like, no. And then they just like take off running. And yeah, they lock one door and then like his hand comes through the fucking
Yeah,
like
that was kind of a corny effect.
yeah.
But...
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the woman playing the tour guide voiced on Assassin's Creed. That's like at least in the 30s of
Haven't
actors we
they
found.
all?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Unless they took off their clothes somewhere.
always.
Or both.
Or both. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Mr. Clarence finds him, who's kind of like the supervisor for the school trip, mentions that the boss is leaving, what for at them.
Yeah, he'd get in a little bit of trouble if he left him.
That
Yeah.
don't stop us from making those threats.
Later on, they're back at the house, asked if they should call the police or at least the prison people. Scott's getting annoyed at it. Says never take money from him again. Keeps trying to get this money back. Later in the night when they're sleeping, One-Eye Jack grabs him from the window. It's like a little build up to that. But we have another one of those commercial break screens where they're screaming, it goes
Yeah.
commercial, goes all back. And when you watch this on Amazon, obviously no commercial, it just fades to black and then comes back. I really wish they would re-edit some of this stuff. The parents run in. Mom says the president freaked her out when she was a kid too. The dad's not having any of this. And mentions, aren't they a little too old to believe the boogeyman? There's a good line here where Jason says, I didn't know the boogeyman had an age limit. I thought that was a pretty good line.
I was making John Wick references.
How?
Did you ever watch John Wick?
Yeah, I love it.
I said Baba Yaga. I said he's the one you send to kill the fucking boogeyman. And
Oh, yeah, that's the nickname in the movie.
yeah, and yeah, that was a good line. But like, what cracked me up is when they're like, "Oh, when he comes back, we'll be ready." And they have these fucking Nerf baseball
Yeah.
Did
bats.
he handed him a little styrofoam ass bat?
Uh
Like, what are you gonna do with that?
huh. For a ghost.
That burger killing me.
In the library, they start doing some research, which is the same set from the Prom Queen episode.
And probably
Whenever somebody's using a microfilm, they're going to be using
yeah,
that. Right?
not Midnight Madness, Dream Machine.
They use a microfilm in that one?
Well, they go to the
Oh,
library,
yeah, that's right.
so it's probably the same library.
I don't think it was the same set as the Quiet Librarian, though.
Quiet Librarian. It's got to be. It's got.
Yeah, no, they don't.
How many?
They don't have more than one library.
Yeah, how many
set,
libraries
but
are you
they've
gonna
been
let them
putting
film
these
in?
kids in the same twin beds for the past how many seasons?
Oh, is that the same beds in this?
Oh, I don't know for sure. I didn't notice
I
that.
think it was one of them was yellow.
Maybe.
I mean, that ain't nothing but a coat of spray paint.
They find an article, and I can't remember how it was searching microfilm because it's been so long since they used it. I don't think you can search keyword like you can when you're browsing like newspapers.com right now.
I don't
You
think.
did it by date
Yeah.
of, yeah, I can't remember if there's a way to do keywords or anything like that. But they find an article from 1945 saying that's when the prison closed, and there was still a convict at large named One-Eye Jack. He was the only prisoner to escape. And they say it's a little unbalanced. He had a daughter. Oh yeah, they mentioned that there's a daughter that
Wait.
demanded access to the records.
How did they find her address?
It was,
Didn't they say her name?
yeah.
And at that point,
They mentioned they lived in a London
right?
place.
Oh, so like the Yellow Pages.
Yeah, they start
White
here.
page.
They start hearing shit in the library.
Yes.
Then they see a little bit of a striped shirt. But then when it's coming out of the corner, you can tell the person wearing the striped shirt has boobs. This is another good line
It's
here.
a new world now.
Wait, are you assuming gender?
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
I've seen plenty of big old boobies on boys.
That's true.
Well, this is a good line. Scott says, I'm not afraid of you. And her line is, you better be, because I'll
Yeah.
throw your bus at you. I think that was the same, that was the first time we had someone say butt in Are You Afraid of the Dark, isn't it?
Probably.
The actress playing that librarian was on Assassin's Creed as well.
Got to do it.
Yep.
Gotta do it.
Jason mentions retreating as they're going up this house, but they say, oh, we're going to go. I like how also, yeah, I made a note here that the address was mentioned in that paper because I made a note, well, how the fuck they assume that she's been living in the same place for 50-some years?
Right?
Yeah, that came out in 1945. This episode is 1995. Damn. Well, some older woman opens up, says, "What do you want?" And they said, "What I Jack?"
with her polio, 2 canes
Yeah.
coming out. Like,
Where's the walker?
She wasn't standing on either of them.
yeah, no.
And if you can't walk, those are not the 2 canes you're gonna be
Yeah,
using.
she was flailing them bitches around too.
Like, get off my lawn. And she's been pranked before, obviously.
She's like,
Yeah. Did you not bring the eye patch?
she was a spunky old lady. I'll give her that much.
Oh yeah. Later at the house, they're arguing again, and Scott just is at this door and just up gets completely grabbed by the ghost of the door. And I was thinking, how the hell did this happen? Like, what logic are we in now where just his shoes are left?
Yeah. I think I just said, damn, pulled him out of his damn shoes.
Yeah, there's nothing there. And like later on, he just had his shoes on again, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he did.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you go back for him?
Maybe the kid brought him.
I didn't have any memory of this episode, by the way.
Fucking.
I didn't have any memory of it previously. No.
Mm.
Now I'm kind of wishing I didn't see it last night.
Yeah, no, actually fucking hated this one. Actually,
Everything was terrible.
actually
the acting
hated
was
it.
terrible.
You thought the acting was bad?
Yes.
I didn't think it was.
Oh my
I was
God.
so terrible, but
that
Actually,
older
just-
brother,
uh
it was so bad.
Yeah.
He was so bad. Everything was so bad about
I was
it.
no, hold
That
on.
scene where they're in the room right after the bats and everything, like at the window.
huh.
Oh my God. I think that I actually, when that scene happened, was like, ah!
Yeah, no, I was the one trying to save this episode because
You
she,
gave up, though.
huh?
You gave up, though, at the end.
No, I didn't give up, but at the same point, like, like I was picking it apart too. But I didn't think it was as bad as you thought it was.
I felt like the plot, like the story was okay, but I think that the acting was awful.
well,
Like,
Keep it in front of you.
it's real hard to do.
no, I mean he's gonna pick it up, but okay, well we'll end that. We'll get to the end of this episode, and then we'll talk more about why you hated it, why I didn't really.
I just told you why.
Well, we're gonna get more into
Yeah,
it.
Jason grabs the flashlight, goes to the prison. And while he's at the prison, the gate's locked, but then it randomly opens for him.
Is that what happened?
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah, I rewind it. Yeah, I was to use that term. Yeah, the gate opens for him as he's walking back.
Okay, because I was like, I think I like reached for a cigarette or something, and I was like, wait, how the fuck did he get in there?
Well, yeah, it's almost like the other episode of Quiet Librarian where the kids had to go to the library late.
break
Yeah.
in through a window.
Yeah, and the one with
That's
Bobby
legit.
Butnick in it, where their dad's doing that museum thing. Like,
Oh,
they,
yeah.
Yes.
they get the keys to the museum, but like there's
Mhm.
like just like, no security there
What
at
was
all.
what was that? Like it wasn't carved stone. It
Guardian's
was
Curse.
Guardian's Curse. Yeah.
He finds Scott in a jail cell,
Mm-hmm.
and he's in this jail cell like with his ass up.
It's a jail cell. Duh. No. I mean, he was asleep too. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, I mean, the door is like wide open, and he mentions that One-Eyed Jack brought him here, but why did he come here? But his kids can rescue him. The door slams shut. They see this fat ass rat, and the rat goes behind the toilet.
Where rats go.
Yeah, and they say if that rat could escape, so could we. And they just up and pull this toilet. No plumbing, nothing attached to it. Just up and pull it back. There's like a few bricks there from a secret tunnel, which they call a ventilation shaft. But
no.
I don't think a ventilation shaft is that big.
That toilet was attached to a board that was up against the wall, as if any inmate that you ever put in that place isn't going to look at that and be like, hey, I might as well try. And then I'll wait to continue bitching until you finish what
All
you're
right,
about to say.
Well, while we're on the topic of this, since Ben worked in a prison, I know we're in a different time period here. This is obviously a historic jail, but did anybody try to escape while you were there, like actually from the cells?
No.
So usually when they escape now, it's like work release or something like that,
It's a
right?
damn
Yeah,
metal
yeah.
box. They ain't getting out of
Yeah.
that.
No. No. If they're gonna escape, it's gonna be out the front door because if they like, okay, so let's take this as an example for like here. If they would have dug behind the toilet, you know where they would end up? In another cell.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I mean that and with like, we had towers that are manned with, like I worked in the tower for, what, year and a half. So I mean, they're like, "Oh, hey, if they climb over the first one, don't shoot them. If they touch the second fence, you can shoot them."
Yeah, but it had in the president's history, did anybody actually get to that point?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think so.
Nope.
And I was also thinking when they went to convert this prison from when it closed in 1945 to a museum, did they not do any renovations and maybe go through the fucking cells and look for things
The
like that?
ventilation system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're climbing through there. There's a few cobwebs. I mean, it's pretty well lit. He loses the flashlight at one point. Scott picks it up, and that's when they shot it off because something's in the way. And what do they find there? A skeleton.
One-eyed Jack.
Yeah, with a eye patch on.
Yeah, with his one-eyed Willie eye patch.
Uh huh.
What's up, baby? You got this look in your face, like.
Because he skipped right over them random 3 bricks that he put.
Oh yeah.
We had to get through that. Just those little bricks that were there.
Yeah,
Yes,
I know
the-
they're staying there, not attached to
The
anything.
little stack of bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it looked like shit. I mean, that was a cheap ass set, but
I was like, well, thank God they put those there.
yeah, well, the ghost of One Eye Jack comes back again because this ghost can just go anywhere.
Well, I guess the sheer weight of two young boys in
It
a
was not equal to the grown man.
Why? You know,
Right.
why did they say it was a ventilation shaft when it could have been just a tunnel?
Well, because the vent
And
broke.
Oh yeah, breaks it goes to the garbage.
And what
Right.
ventilation shaft is running up to the back of a fucking toilet?
That's a good point.
Anybody?
Ah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it breaks down. The skeleton comes with
I don't
them.
want that
The-
air
the
flowing
ghost-
into my room.
The ghost of One Eye Jack comes there and says, "Look at my pocket," and there's a photo of him when he was alive with his daughter. I don't think it said when.
Well,
Did
no,
did they say when One Eye Jack got sent to prison?
no,
It
but,
wasn't during the revolt,
but
1922. Right?
before he says, look in my pocket, he's like, I'm sorry I had to do this to you boys.
Uh-huh.
He's like, he needed his body discovered.
Yeah,
But at the same point, when they freed him, he could be like, "Hey,
Go find me
my body
behind the toilet.
my body is
at the prison."
in this shaft, in this tunnel behind my cell. Like,
Yeah, he could just told him.
I never escaped like people think. Like maybe don't fucking fly. Hold on, why? If he can make it outside of the prison,
Thank you. Now you're just
if he can make it outside the
backing
prison,
me
why
up.
doesn't he just go to his daughter?
exactly. That's the big plot hole.
Oh my god!
Everything about this was fucking wrong.
It wasn't that bad.
All right, now unless there's some type of universe where he can only do that to people who saw him down in the cell.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, again, like, did the people not do any fucking renovations here, or like look at every part of the property? Like, he's just found by 2 kids. Like, not that much time goes by there where they find him.
Yeah.
I had another big question here. How did he get stuck there and die in the ventilation shaft?
Reasons.
Okay,
I don't know.
here's my other question: was it even necessary to have him with an eye patch? What was the point of that?
He's the iconic one-eyed Willie Jack.
But they could have done anything else. I mean, he could have been like
They
Peg
could've.
Leg
What,
Joe.
like, got their own idea?
Wow.
I was
All
real
right.
upset with this one. I'm
Wow.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they show the woman's name in the episode is Mrs. Briggs, and the actress who played her actually had 2 acting credits. This is the last one, so maybe it was just somebody's grandma.
Well, you know why it was probably her last one? The inconsistency of one, her showing up with 2 fucking canes, and then when they go to tell her, "Oh, hey, here's a picture of you and your daddy,"
Uh-huh.
she doesn't have any
She's
canes,
pointing around, no canes
Yeah,
in her hand.
holding
She's all nice
people,
and steady.
and she
She
walks
ain't got no canes.
right on her 2 legs.
There was no continuity in this episode. There was nothing that was right. Except Mark. Mark was okay.
Yeah, there are episodes she had. His name's Jason.
It was Mark.
Mark and Step by Step.
Yeah, that's why he's Mark.
Right.
That's fair
Forever.
enough.
She was in some other obscure horror movie from 1988 called Pin. I was looking for any actors that may have been in that. See the connection there. Now Tucker said, "All right, yeah, they go back." Scott gives them back the $5.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about going lunch or arcade, arcade or lunch, going back and forth again. Tucker says that despite their differences, they really were brothers. And Sam mentions Saturday night. It's then revealed that Tucker surprised Gary for a birthday present. He bought tickets to Lollapalooza.
That was
And
the happiest thing about the whole episode
yeah,
for
Gary's
me.
taking Sam. Now, I looked this up. If this episode takes place in 1995, they would have had tickets for Lollapalooza in 1996. Headlining that was Metallica. Also, the main stage Soundgarden, the Ramones, Rancid, and they did do a Lollapalooza in Canada.
You can ask
Go ahead.
Ben. As soon as the episode was over, I looked at him. I said the best thing about that episode for me was that hearing them say Lollapalooza.
So that means Gary and Sam are going on a date. I called that.
You know, if I were to rank this episode, actually, I would put this like somewhere in the 40 to 6%. It wasn't terrible for me. It wasn't great. I liked it more than Fire Ghost.
I liked the
Christ.
very end, like out of the story,
Uh-huh.
like where Tucker gave him the tickets. I thought that was really nice, the way they played that off. But like as far as the actual acting and just, I was not a fan of that one. It was so, eh.
Ooh, speaking of Gary. Hey, Ross Hall.
Ooh.
You read our messages. We require a response. You tell us to fuck
Request.
off. Okay, cool. We'll just let people know you said fuck off. But just, reading it and not responding, that's just bad business.
Patreon, please. We're not afraid of the dark. Got some stickers. Send us email, Instagram. Hit us up. Please leave us a review. Hey, we've seen a few other Are You Afraid of the Dark podcasts pop up lately. I gotta check them out.
Yeah. We should check.
Apparently they've been checking us out.
Oh, are they following us?
Thanks, everybody. See you next time.